Hey, Ellie. Your father and I are going to be moving tomorrow, so... Hold on, what? Where did this come from? This isn't something you just drop on someone out of nowhere. That's why I'm telling you now. We are moving tomorrow. Starting tomorrow, you are going to be living alone. Sorry, I don't think I quite understand everything that's going on here, but... If you're suddenly moving, where are you moving to? We're moving to Maria's house. Starting tomorrow, we're going to be living with her. What? You're abandoning me out of nowhere and decide to move in with my big sister? Wait, hold on a second. What you call Maria's house is actually an apartment she's renting, isn't it? How are you planning on living there? Wouldn't you moving there cause trouble with her lease? Wow, you really are stupid, aren't you? Of course we aren't planning to live in her apartment. There's no way we'd do something like that. Well, then where do you all intend to live then? No matter how much you bring up about how you're suddenly moving and living somewhere else, I still find this all incredibly hard to believe. Isn't it obvious? We're going to be living in a new house. I'm talking about a new house that Maria's family built. A new house? Maria and her family built a house? Yes, that's right. Not only that, the house is a duplex. They built it for your father and me. Ah, I see. I guess that's good to hear. But why am I only hearing about this now? I haven't heard a thing from Maria about having built a new house, nor about any moving plans. What? Why do you think we had to talk to you about it? It's not like we need your permission to do anything. Well, perhaps. It might be better to say that it would have actually been a problem if we had talked to you about it earlier. I am almost afraid to ask, but what do you mean by that? Isn't it obvious? If I had talked to you before about how there was being a house built for us and how we were going to be living there, you would have just done everything you could to tag along with us. You would have tried to shamelessly guilt-trip us into bringing you along. That's what Maria was worrying about more than anything else. What are you talking about? Why on earth would I want to go along with you? What makes you think I would be so quick to just be all, "Hey there, I'll be coming along with you, thank you very much"? What made you think that I would do something so ridiculous? Huh? Well, of course you would do that. I mean, come on, look at you. You're already 28 and you're still single and living with your parents. Meanwhile, Maria's husband is a very successful business manager and is super rich. It's not strange at all to think that you'd want to take advantage of their money and try to just live off of them, don't you think? I have no idea how you could have come to such a ridiculous conclusion. You know how much I've hated Maria. What with her always bullying me and rubbing her every little success in my face for as long as I can remember. Why in the world do you think I would just forget about all of that and want to move into a house that her family owns? What? Just because they have money? Doing something like that would be the furthest thing from my mind. I'm nowhere near that desperate. Hey, hold on now. Don't be rude. I never said I was the one thinking that. Just that it was a reasonable guess. Like I said earlier, this is what Maria was worried about. She was thinking that maybe you'd try to barge in on her life and ruin her family's happy life in her new home. If things ended up like that, it would mean serious trouble for me, too. Well, that response certainly doesn't surprise me in the slightest. This is how you've always been. Always thinking of Maria over me. Not only that, but aren't you the one who told me some time ago that living alone and single would have looked poorly on me to begin with? You were the one who was whining so much about the idea of me living alone that I just decided to stay with you so you would shut up about it. Don't go acting like I ever intended to live in this house ever since I became an adult. It's all because of your whining that I'm still here. Oh no, not this again. Stop trying to act tough around me. You know it's not going to work. Don't try to lie and say it was anything else other than you wanting to just live off us like a worthless parasite. Oh, sure, that's just the kind of thing I'd expect to hear from someone like you. Someone who left me to do every last bit of housework like I was your maid. People like you often try to say something like that to your kids when they start speaking up against you. Well, whatever. Since you're moving out tomorrow, I'll finally get to say goodbye to all of your bull once and for all. Frankly, I'm relieved to hear that that's what you've decided to do. I suppose I'll just look forward to finally living how I want to starting tomorrow then. Oh, one last thing I need to tell you. You had better continue living in that house, got it? Excuse me? Why? Frankly, I prefer to move as soon as I possibly can. I would be happy to not live one more second in this house. There's no reason for me to have to follow any such demand. Don't think I'll let you get away with doing that. You do realize that that house is our family home, right? I would never forgive you if you just selfishly abandoned our family's property. Are you crazy? Are you even listening to what you're saying? If you care so much about this house, the two of you should be the ones to take care of it, not me. What? Us? There's no way we would be able to do something like that. Just think for 1 second. Once we move, your father and I are going to be so busy helping Maria every day. Sure, helping her. Like I'm going to believe you're going to do anything close to that. You do realize Maria is working too, right? Since she's working, she's asked your father and me to deal with all of the housework. It's ridiculous to think that we would be able to take care of our old house when we'll be so busy already in Maria's. That only leaves you. Everything will turn out just fine if you just live in our old house and take care of it yourself. What? You think I can handle all of this on my own? You're crazy! That's out of the question. If you want to talk about being selfish, how about we look at how you're only telling me this the day before you move out? You haven't discussed this with me at all out of some stupid fear that Maria has about me screwing up her life, so I have no need to listen to you either. How dare you? Are you forgetting who raised you? What makes you think you can act like this toward your mother? Honestly, I just don't understand how you could have grown to be this ungrateful, insolent woman when Maria turned out perfectly. At the very least, if you had just gotten a job with a Fortune 500 company or something, then this would be a totally different story. Oh, so now you're trying to insult me because of what kind of work I do? I'd appreciate it if you didn't badmouth every aspect of my life. Well, I suppose I can't just cry about how it's so unfair that you only think about Maria. I'm far too old for something childish like that. I am already well aware that no matter what I say to you, you won't give me the time of day. You clearly gave up on me ages ago. That's right. I guess I did raise you into someone who can at least understand some things. Well then, I'll be counting on you starting tomorrow. Oh yeah, you won't need anything to eat for dinner tonight, right? Your father and I are going to be eating out with Maria's family, so I won't be there to make anything for you. Yes, I get it. Whatever. Please do enjoy your dinner out with the only family you actually care about. As for me, I don't exactly want to see your faces at all after today, so I'll be staying at a friend's place tonight. Excuse me? What about helping us with our move? If you don't get everything packed up for us, it will cause trouble for everyone. I figured you would say that. It's amazing just how unbelievably predictable you are. Why do you think I'm going to a friend's house in the first place? You're the ones who decided to plan all this behind my back in the first place. Why not take this as your first chance to get used to living life without relying on me for every single thing around the house? You'll be fine, I'm sure. Anyway, bye. What? You had better stay right at home. I'm telling you that there will be serious trouble if you don't help us with preparing for the move. Living in a two-family household is just so nice. This is just the kind of life I would expect from having such a successful businessman as a son-in-law. The bathroom even has a jacuzzi. I've never before experienced such an elegant, refined lifestyle. You know, if you want to gush about how amazing your life is, you can just write it in a diary, or perhaps talk to someone who actually cares. There's no need to keep messaging me about everything. Living together with Maria's family must be the best thing that life has to offer, I'm sure. Anyway, bye. Hold on, you disobedient little wretch! Since I first told you about our move, you haven't even shown your face to me, and you've just been out playing with your friends and acting all innocent. You're still keeping that promise you made to me, aren't you? There will be serious consequences if you aren't. Huh? Promise? Don't play dumb. I'm talking about you living at our old house and taking proper care of it. Have you been cleaning it daily? There will be serious trouble if you have been neglecting it. Well, I'm certainly living in the house right now. But apart from that, I don't see why you feel the need to be constantly telling me to do whatever cleaning and whatnot you think needs to be done. Frankly, it's nothing more than a nuisance. Honestly, I don't know why I'm even surprised that you continue to talk back like this to me anymore. When are you going to finally grow up and learn to accept some responsibility? It would be so much better if you could just learn even a little bit from Maria. She's a proper daughter who respects her parents and treats them properly. What? Like you even care at this point? Instead of constantly worrying about a daughter like me, who, according to you, can't amount to anything, why aren't you just focusing on living happily ever after with your favorite daughter, Maria? Isn't talking to me just putting a damper on your happy new life with the only daughter that matters to you? I wouldn't put it like that. I'm not even close to worried about you. All your father and I are worried about is if our house is still in pristine condition. I'm only talking to you to make sure you're taking good care of it. This was originally something we were hoping to leave to some agency or another that could take care of it for us. But we figured it would be a waste of money when we have our parasitic daughter around who would do it for us. So we figured it would just be easiest to leave it to you. We've been doing you a favor by leaving you a place to live, rent-free. It shouldn't be so strange for us to just ask you to take care of the place you've been graciously lent in return, don't you think? Sorry, I'm afraid I have no idea what you're talking about. Anyway, you should just stop worrying about me and go enjoy your fun new life in your new house. I'm in the house. That's all that matters, right? I suppose. Yes, that's true. I guess Maria and I just worry too much, don't we? No matter how anxious we get about what you could be neglecting. If we worried about it every day, it would just take years off of our lives. Yeah, whatever. I don't see how continuing to make snide remarks at me is helping anything either. So I'm just going to go. Bye. Ugh, you are such a disgusting daughter. You know, not cute at all. Whatever. Remember, you need to keep taking good care of the house. Got it? Ellie, answer the phone already. I got a call from our old neighbors. Didn't I tell you countless times that you had to take good care of the house? Excuse me? I am taking good care of the house. I'm taking good care of the house I'm living in. The house you're living in? What are you insinuating? You're living in our house, aren't you? And yet, despite your claims that you're taking good care of it, I'm getting complaints from everyone. What do you have to say for yourself? The neighborhood has been complaining to us about a cat living at our house that's been pooping all over our garden. Our old neighbors have noticed the stench and are complaining to us about it. Huh? A cat? I have no idea what you're talking about. I don't own a cat, and I'm not taking care of any feral ones either. I don't know what they're complaining about. There's not a single cat in or around the house. That's not all. Along with cat poop, there have been weeds sprouting all over the garden. They've spread so far that they're getting into our neighbor's garden. They're yelling at me to do something about it. Do you call this taking care of the house? What? Garden? There's no garden at my house. Or I guess maybe calling it house was wrong. I'm living in an apartment. Sorry, I guess I'm used to calling my home my house. I'm so sorry for the mix-up. What? What do you mean you're living in an apartment? What are you talking about? Before asking me that, don't you think it would be more helpful to go looking at your old house first? If there's all those complaints coming in from the neighbors, it might be better to go check the damage for yourself. It sounds to me like there might be some problems you're going to have to deal with, huh? I just got there. What in the world happened here? The place looks utterly desolate. How could you let it fall into such disrepair? Moreover, what was all that you were saying earlier? You said you were taking care of the house. What? Didn't you hear me the first time? I'm taking care of my house. Or rather, my apartment. Oh, right. There's one other thing I'm taking care of right now. You just happened to text me as I was finishing up some important work. I have been working to isolate every aspect of my life from all of you, so you can never interfere with my affairs again. Huh? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Isolating yourself from us. This isn't something you just drop on someone out of nowhere. What, so you mean like how you and Dad did the same to me with your whole moving out bit? Besides, there shouldn't be any problem with me just telling you this now. It's not like I felt you needed to know anything about it. I'm just treating you the exact same way you treated me. You certainly didn't think it was important to let me know you were planning to move. And yet you still expected me to help you prepare everything? On top of that, you try to make me take care of the house you're leaving behind. What I'm doing should fall perfectly well within the bounds of what you seem to find as acceptable behavior. What are you talking about? You're basically saying you're disowning us. Well, yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing. And? What do you mean, and? Moving out and disowning your family are two completely different things. Moreover, where even are you right now? On the inside, the house is absolutely caked with dust. You weren't cleaning the house daily like you promised. There you go again, claiming I promised you something. I never made a single promise to you about cleaning a house or otherwise. I told you I was cleaning my house. I can't help it if my old habit of calling it a house led to the confusion. I thought you understood. Then I'll ask you again. Where are you? Tell me where you are immediately. No. Even if you tried to force me to tell you where I was, it wouldn't help. First off, I'm living in an apartment now, not an easily findable house. Secondly, it's not even my place to tell you where I'm living, as I'd be violating another family's privacy. After all, after marrying my husband a month ago, I've been living with him and his extremely kind parents. It's my home now, but they would have to be the ones to decide who I give their address to, not me. What did you just say? You got married? Why didn't you tell me you got married? Huh? What do you mean? Are you saying there was some need to inform you of it? Why would I tell a family I'm disowning about anything in my life? What are you talking about? Like I would ever accept you disowning your family. Do you know how furious Maria is with you right now? She can't believe how terribly you treat us. How could you do something like this to us? Don't act like any of you ever even cared that much about me to begin with. For as long as I can remember, you all have only seen me as your servant. Am I wrong? What are you talking about? Of course we never thought that. Oh, are you really going to try to claim that now? Well then, how about we take a quick look back at what's gone on for the past few months? You started off by suddenly telling me, your daughter, that you were moving out of your house one day before you planned to move. You expected me to do most of the moving work for you, then tried to order me to take care of the house after you were gone. You weren't letting me live there as thanks for how much I helped you up to that point. You were making it sound like an obligation. You did everything you possibly could to try to force me to handle caring for the house you were essentially abandoning. You even told me you could have left it to a company that would take care of the house for you, but no. You left it to me so you could save money. Is that the kind of treatment you think a daughter deserves? How do you think your treatment of me to look to someone who never knew us? Do you think they'd see the relationship as mother and daughter, or master and servant? What are you talking about? All of that was Maria's fault. I mean, just look at how differently the two of you were acting. Not only were you single, you were nothing but a parasite, latching onto and living off of us instead of living out there on your own. Maria, on the other hand, married a rich husband and did what she could to let us live a happy life. Who do you think we would be kinder to? Even with your pathetic brain, it should be obvious. Of course we would pay more attention to Maria. Oh, so because Maria married a rich man, it's her fault that you treated me like garbage? I'd say the fault pretty clearly lies with you. You just didn't want to have to deal with managing a house or the difficulties that just come with living, so you made me do everything. You even went so far as to force me to take half of my salary and put it into your house. And now, you've started living with the oh-so-much cuter daughter who you spoiled so much as a child. All the while deciding to leave all of that tiresome work you wanted to ignore to the servant girl you think your other daughter is. I'm sure you think you're just living it up right now, getting to stay with your nice daughter's rich family in their fancy house. But if we look at things another way, you're just living off someone else again, aren't you? This is no different than when you just lived carefree, leaving all the work to me like you would a servant. If anyone here should be called a parasite, I think you fit the bill best of all. What makes you think you have the right to talk to me like that? Honestly, expecting someone else to keep a promise you made without even telling them? No one would do something like that. That house is not my house. I don't see why I even need to tell you this, but it's the obligation of the owner of the house to take care of it, isn't it? If you didn't want to shoulder the responsibility yourself, then maybe you should have thought a bit more about the person you wanted to leave it to. And maybe, I don't know, not just try to drop the responsibility into their lap at the last minute. But I guess it's just too late to go taking back everything you did now. You made this bed for yourself. You lie in it. Good luck cleaning up the house and quieting the neighbors. Wait, no, hold on. Won't you at least try to reconsider the whole disowning your family thing? You don't have to cut us out of your life entirely. Couldn't you at least return to the house you lived in for so long just once? As my daughter? I mean, you can't just go and live with your husband's family without even introducing them to us, can you? That just wouldn't be proper. I mean, they'll become our relatives too, you know. Come on, you could at least just help us with the house, can't you? I would appreciate it if you didn't try to treat my family like your own personal workhorses. You all are nothing to me now. I don't consider any of you my family. I was more than happy to get rid of your horrid last name when I got married. Please do not contact me ever again. Please, hold on. I'm sorry. Your mother was wrong, so... Can't we please just talk about this like sensible adults? Look, I don't think you really understand the situation here. I don't know where you get off trying to call yourself my mother. The only mother I have now is the mother of my husband, and a horrid woman like you could never hope to compare yourself to her. While I had only married my husband a month ago, I had actually dated him for over a year already. After that last conversation, I felt I owed them an explanation as to what my mess of a family had been doing. It took a while to explain to them all the horrible things my toxic family had done to me, but when I was finally done, my mother-in-law wept and embraced me, saying, "From now on, I will be the mother you never got to have." Those words made me happier than I could have ever imagined. In a moment, maybe not befitting someone of my age, I broke down in tears and sobbed, burying my face into her chest as she reassuringly patted my head. From that point on, I never returned to that house full of memories of a horrible upbringing with terrible parents. Instead, I started living a happy new life together with my husband and his family, the only family that matters to me now. My new mother makes an amazing pot roast, too. But I digress. Oh, right. As for my former parents, they did their best to chase away the stray cats who started living in their garden. And from what I hear, had a really tough time having to formally apologize to everyone for letting the house get into the state that it was. Not only that, but the story of this whole incident finally ended up reaching my former sister's husband's ears, and those of his family. As a result, my former home is now being inhabited once again, This time by my former parents and my former sister, and no one else. Though, since those parents get to still live with their favorite daughter, I suppose they're probably still living happily, right?